Hey guys, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs. And if you don't know me, I help people like you who are going through spiritual awakening to reduce your symptoms, the challenging ones, and make the whole process much, much easier. And today we're doing a little video where we're kind of letting you in a little bit more closely to who it is that I work with. So we're going to be connecting you to the ascended guides of spiritual awakening, the guides and the collective of very special spirit beings that we're working with, who are giving us all this healing and all the guidance that I bring through, giving you an understanding of who they are. And then we'll do a short meditation at the end where we'll actually connect you to them so that you can be guided too, because they really are absolutely wonderful. We'll talk about who they are and how they can help your ascension journey, most importantly, because that's what they're all about. So before we get into that, please do say hello, tell me who you are and where you're from. And of course, I'm really interested to know your guys' experience, maybe if you've connected with the guides before, and I'll explain some of the different ways that we do that through our work here at Spiritual Awakening Signs, and I would love to hear your experiences. So I can see a few people have joined us online already, so again, please say hello. We'd love to know that you're with us. We really appreciate you joining us, and we're going to get into this exciting video. And I'm really looking forward to sharing this because I haven't really explained so much about the guides that I work with and all the healing and everything that they bring through. So I'm looking forward to covering that today. I can see a few people have joined us already. So hi to Jackson and Jasmine for joining us. Thank you. We've got Kate from South Africa. Awesome. So anyone, please feel free to say hi and I'll give you a little shout out. So we're going to get into the video. So you'll know that when the type of work that I do, I'm doing energy healing meditations, which I'm going to break down a little bit so that everyone understands exactly what that is, particularly if you're a newbie. It's energy healing meditations that I do, and they help me in every aspect of my work. I could not do this work here at Spiritual Awakening Signs without the guides. But the spirit guides really are, like I always say, a collection of really high vibrational spirit beings who are absolutely dedicated to guiding us on the awakening pathway. So their sole purpose, literal sole purpose, is to help those of us who are on that trajectory and on that journey to get where we need to go, so that we're getting through all the challenging parts of awakening and we're getting to the part where we are fully awakened, we are able to connect to source, we're able to bring through what it is we're here to do on the planet and in this lifetime, and really to live our greatest joy. So they're helping us along that spiritual pathway because they know it's a really tough transition. It can be really difficult. Hi to Maria too, I see you've joined us. Hi Maria. So I started working with these guides years ago, so long before my awakening really began. I think we've all got a time where it's like things were bubbling, things were starting to move, but I wasn't necessarily in that real shock phase of when awakening had hit. And I was going through one of the toughest times in my life. It was a really difficult, really dark time. And I can remember feeling like I'd lost my faith. I can remember feeling like, is this all there is? You know, like, where's all the magic in life? Everything felt so numb and so flat and so monotonous. And I was feeling really, really disillusioned. And on this particular day, I was really upset, and I decided I would just get out a pen and paper and just write. I don't know what made me do it. I can't honestly say what made me do it, but I wrote kind of like, you know, to spirit guides, beings of the light, to the angels, anyone who's listening, is there anyone there? And of course I got this kind of surge that came up, some automatic writing began, where something said, we are. And it really was a confusing moment, because of course the first thing you think is, okay, I'm having a rough time, I have definitely slipped into some sort of crazy episode, and I'm now hearing voices in my head or whatever it is, but it wasn't like that. It was like just writing, and I would ask questions and I would ask for guidance, and the answers that came were so expansive that, to be honest, they kind of information dumped me with all this information that I took down very quickly. There's about 20 pages of information about the laws of the universe, the way we live, spiritual awakening, karmic patterns, all this different type of stuff. And it was actually too much for me at first, and I put it in a drawer and I left it for a couple of years. Crazy, I know, but you kind of, when these things happen, sometimes you question yourself and you think, was that me? Was it something else? You know, it's really hard to tell, but we're going to cover how you can tell the difference in a few minutes. So if anything like this is your experience and you're not sure, you'll get through it. But the information that came back was just so profound that I wasn't really, I don't know if I wasn't able to understand it, but I just wasn't quite there yet. And when I went back to it a few years later, it was almost like, God, why did I ever stop doing that? That's really incredible that I stopped. And I started conversing with them again, and really have got enough information for a few books worth of all these conversations, but they've just given me so much guidance and information throughout my awakening journey. I've been able to ask pretty much anything. And of course, they give us all these updates about what's going on spiritually that I'm able to bring through to you guys. And they're very good at digging to what's really at the core of things. So they are healers in the truest sense. And what they've said to me is that they are working with us to get us back to who we truly are. It's about getting us back to who we really are authentically as a soul and bringing that through into the present moment. That's the most important thing. And they are absolutely dedicated to that. And they will give us heads up of what we need to know. They will let us know the shifts and the changes that are coming up. And of course, I give you guys these spiritual updates at least once a month. And we do more healing and more things towards that every single time. But, you know, there are times where they've given me heads up about so many things and I didn't listen. And or I didn't quite see it, and then when I look back I'm like, oh my god, they told me that, and I didn't listen. So it can be really confusing, but they told me a lot of things, and it's all come to pass. They even told me who my twin flame was, and I did not believe them. And I argued with them for a few months, and it turned out they were right. They were absolutely right, and now I've got a fantastic partner, and it's all really great. So you need to be able to open up to the guides that are there for you. But what I can tell you is that these guides are not just my guides. They are your guides. And that's the message that they always want me to kind of send to everyone, is that this is a collective of beings that really want to help us on the awakening pathway. They're for all of us, and they are for you too, and you can call on them. We're going to be doing that later in the video. So they can really, really help. But of course, the question always comes up, is it your higher self? Is it a mental health issue? How do you know whether you've gone off the end and you're way into crazy and you're talking to yourself, or if it's actually spiritual guidance? Well, there's a really good way to be able to tell, and this is what I've realised, because in the moment you can question things, and always when I go back and look, sometimes there's even vocabulary in there that I don't understand, and I need to look it up, and then I'm like, oh, that does make sense. What you're really looking for when you get information and guidance, or when something comes to your mind, any sort of intuition, whether it's from these guides, your guides, or anything else, right? The best way to tell is the information positive? Okay, any information you get from well-meaning spirit guides, high vibrational spirit beings, is always going to be positive, okay? So if it's negative, if it's fearful, if it scares you, you've probably slipped into either connecting with something that's not for your highest and best good, or it could be broken aspects of the psyche coming up for healing, because that does happen during awakening. So don't fret and don't feel that all is lost if you've sometimes gotten it wrong or sometimes gotten mixed up. That can happen, but that's the best way to tell. And also, it's always constructive. So they'll never tell you something that you can't do anything about. Your spirit guides, or these guides that I'm working with, will always work towards things being constructive in a positive way. And it's always accurate. So whether it's now, 3 months from now, 3 years from now, you look back at that information, and even if it didn't make sense in the time, when you look back at it now, maybe you're going, God, that was right, that was accurate. And this is how you learn to trust the information that's coming through. This is how you get to know what's really going on. So probably the question would be, how can they help you in your ascension? Well, these guides are going to be bringing us through a lot of different stuff. So first of all, we've got the frequent spiritual updates, usually once a month, maybe more than that. I'll be able to bring these through. Anything that's changing, anything that's shifting, anything that's going to affect your awakening, and anything you can do to improve and progress further in your spiritual awakening, we'll get to know, and I'll be able to bring it into these videos, and I'll continue to do that. They don't take no for an answer, they're quite insistent, so we'll be making sure we get that information out there for you. And of course, we've got our energy healing meditations. So these are a special hybrid kind of between energy healing and meditation. It's a little crossover that we do, and really it's all about the activations, the healing and the clearing that these guides see that we need. They give us the information. It's like, okay, we're blocked over here, we need to clear that. It's very much like a one-to-one healing session, because the difference with these is that when we do an energy healing meditation, they start working with your energy and adjusting levels and frequencies and activating things that need activated, healing things that need healed, specific to you. So you're getting a tailored healing response rather than just a kind of a blanket, this is just an energy healing. And it's really general. They'll be really specific with you, and that's the wonderful thing about it. And of course, we have literally a whole school of energy healing meditations. We've got tons of free ones. If you have a look over our Facebook page, you'll find loads of free ones. And also, of course, we'll be doing one in the video today. It's just a short one we're doing, but it's the same thing, working with them. But we have a school literally of about, I think, maybe 30 different energy healing meditations on every topic that you can possibly think of to do with spiritual awakening. They've given us energy clearing, they've given us pineal activations, they've given us DNA upgrades, they've given us heart healing for the heart chakra, they've given us light worker activation, you name it, anything you can think of to do with awakening that would be a challenge or something you need to move through, you'll find something there that you can look at, and I'll put the link in the description just in case that's something you want to check out. But like I said, tons of free ones, and we've got a whole school full of them if you want to have more in depth with those for your spiritual awakening too. And of course, we're going to get into an energetic connection where we're going to connect you to the guides a little bit more deeply, so that not just you're getting the energy healing from them, because they'll do that every time we do these energy healing meditations, but it's more about being able to kind of invoke them, to invite them into your space, because they won't just invade your space. They're very, very much about permission. They are looking for you to give permission and to hold the intention that you allow them into your space, and then what they'll do is they'll start to give you signs, to guide you along your pathway, to show you what the next thing is that you need to move forward in your ascension, because that's their ultimate goal. It's let's get you through this and to the other side where you're fully awakened and you are living in your power, living your purpose, living your greatest joy. That's what they're all about, and they've certainly helped me to do that. Doesn't make life perfect, life still goes on, but being able to fulfill my purpose and do this type of work is more than I ever could have imagined. So they can definitely do some pretty amazing things. So if anyone has any questions about the guides, anything you want to know about them, please ask. There are a few things I've asked them over the years that they just, they're very kind of nondescript about things like, can I see you? Because I don't see them as a vision. Everybody sees things different. Some people hear things, some people see images, some people can visualise words, some people just get a sense or a feeling. Everybody's a little bit different. For me, I have asked them at the beginning. It was a big deal for me. I was like, will you let me see you? I have to see you. This is a really big deal for me. I need to be able to see it to believe that it's real. And what they always said was, that's just a distraction. You don't need to see us. It's not going to make any difference whatsoever. It's just going to distract you. So just get on with the work and let's forget about everything else. And the same with names, because they're a collection, and that, sometimes there's little subtleties in the different energies that you're working with. And it's, what's your name? Can you tell me your name? And they used to always say, that's just going to glamorise. This isn't about ego. We're here to serve. Like, it's not, it makes no difference what our name is. And they're right, because I would go down the rabbit hole trying to learn more about it and obsessing over it because I find it so exciting. So if you have any questions about them, please do let me know. And it's also good to know what you guys are experiencing. I'd love to know what you've picked up in the energy healing meditations, any experiences that you've had, and of course in the one that we're just about to do, please do give me your feedback as well. I see that Kate has given us a little comment. She says, I'm grateful for this info, Kelly. I've been getting signs from my guides through synchronicities, but I've been wanting a more direct and tangible relationship with them, just haven't known how. That's the thing. What I've found with a lot of these things is sometimes willpower isn't enough. When you're in that energy of, I just want to connect, I just want to get a message, I need them, and that's the worst time. When you really need them the most, it's like, I need them. But the more we put that energy into it, it's very 3D, and it's quite a kind of panicked energy. It's got a lot of negativity into it. And the more that we need that help, and the more that we put that energy out, sometimes it kind of closes down our psychic senses. So we end up more disconnected from the thing that we actually need. So this is why these energy healing meditations are useful, because rather than you having to use the willpower, we're just going to go into your energy and kind of switch the switches on that you need to have to be able to connect with them, to be able to recognise the signs from them, to be able to work more deeply with them. It's just a much simpler way of doing it. So you're doing it through the soul and through your energy, rather than with kind of mental willpower of trying to seek them out. So it's it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I see Jackson has had a question. He says, is it a vocal conversation you have with them, or is it a vibration, frequency conversation and understanding? Well, it's kind of a two-part thing that I've noticed when I work with the guides. If I'm doing automatic writing, of which there is extensive stuff, because I've asked a lot of questions about awakening over the years, and about spirituality in general. So I can have a vocal conversation where I'm writing. So if I write and ask the question, the answer just starts flooding, and I need to take it down quick because they won't tell me again. So I've upped from working with a notepad and pen to now working on a laptop and just take it down quickly. It tends to work that way, but when I'm doing the energy healing, it's more of they just present the ideas for me. It's just, this is what you need, this is the next thought, this is the next image, or this is the next word, or I get shown kind of, it feels like your own mind doing it. They're just so clear about that, and actually I think that's a large part of it. And I want people to know, when you're working with your guides, quite often you're looking for what I was looking for in the beginning. You're looking for something to show up in front of you, a particular being that you can look at and say, wow, there they are, there's the confirmation. You're looking for words to come through so that you've got something more 3D and tangible to hold on to. But quite often the best way that they can come through for you is actually in your thoughts. They make it so natural that you don't even notice it's from your guides. They make it so effortless that it's just like a thought comes to you, you think, that's actually quite a good idea, that might work. And it turns out to be the right thing. Or a lot of people have this, a lot of energy healers are working and they don't realise their guides are working with them because they just get a hunch or a feeling, or it's like, I think you might need this. And really what it is the guides are giving them the answers. But I think quite often for a lot of us, if the guides showed too much that they were there, if it was like, excuse me, let me let you know this little bit of information, we would get distracted because it's so exciting. It would be distracting. You would want to sit and chat to your guides all day and not talk to other people. And I can tell you from experience, sitting meditating and doing that stuff all the time, it's not for the best. It's better if it's kind of blended in with your current life, and in a way that is so effortless and natural to you that you don't have to question it. You don't spend tons of time working out whether it's trustworthy or whether it's not, or where it's coming from or who said it. It's just like an inner knowing. It's a much different feeling. So you guys can definitely have that with your guides as well. So let's get into the energy healing part of this, and what we're going to be doing is connecting you to the guides, okay? Now by that I mean the spirit guides that I work with, who are the ascended collective of high vibrational spirit beings who are dedicated to helping us with our awakening experience and with our awakening pathway, okay? That's who we're going to be connecting you up with. And of course we all have different types of guides. We have different groups of guides, lots of different things like that going on. But for today we're just going to focus on connecting you with the guides that are going to help you to move through your ascension process, okay? They're going to help you to really get moving on your ascension and be fully supported spiritually in that. So what we always do before we begin these energy healings is we just take a little moment to kind of bring our focus into the healing that we're about to do. So if you can just take a little moment to close your eyes. And I always like to take a deep breath just to signal to the body that we are preparing for healing and that there's a shift here. We're doing something different. We're doing some self-care. Okay, and just allowing the guides to begin working with your energy. And I can see they're kind of intensifying this just a little bit more than they usually would. You may feel it up around the crown chakra. So that's where they're working just now. And what they're saying is, if you can feel the subtleties, you'll get the confirmation that we are actually working with you. So working with your crown chakra, working right in the top of the head there, bringing in this energy. And I can see that they're opening these channels. So the channels that we've got from the top of the head up to source, that is our connection, and up to all the spiritual guidance that we get. They're just kind of activating and clearing that, reconnecting that, making any adjustments that they need to adjust. I'm being shown that some of us won't necessarily see spirit when we're working with it in any form, whatever energies you believe in. We won't necessarily see it because a lot of us have kind of closed over that ability a little bit. There's some fear from past lives there that needs to be cleared. But we can still work with them, and what they're showing me is for many of us it'll be more of a feeling, it'll be more of a sense. You know, just when you're like, I get the feeling that this is going to happen, or I get the feeling that, you know, this is what I need. And that's them starting to work through you. And they're bringing this energy down into the heart chakra now. And even down into the solar plexus. So you might be able to sense that energy moving down through the system. And they're just reconnecting you, bringing this down through all the main chakras in your central energy system. That'll help you to connect up. And you may even feel some energy moving in other areas of the body, even around your head and your shoulders. You might become aware of that as the energy works with you. But just knowing that this energy is safe, that it's for your highest and best good, that it will always guide you and lead you towards your greatest joy and to your fully awakened divinity. And what they're showing me here is they're only going to work with the upper chakras, because that's all they really need. Anything further down is all a bit more 3D, and that stuff's doing okay. So they're working from the solar plexus upwards. So they're just connecting all those chakras, clearing the connection so that you can tune in more deeply, and just allow that to happen now. And they're just working with a few different senses. I can see them opening up the ears, so you need to be listening out for what things your ears pick up on, because a lot of it is guidance and messages from them. So maybe you hear a song and there's a specific line or lyrics, something that plays in your head, something you hear when you're out and about. Maybe you overhear a conversation. They're letting you know they're going to get messages to you that way. So pay attention to what's going on round about you. And I can see them also working with the heart, so activating the area in the heart space and the heart chakra there where we pick up information, where we just know. It's just a feeling within that we just know the truth. Just activating and awakening that so that it can reach our consciousness, where the messages become known and realised. And then they're also working with the third eye chakra here. So they're just activating this just a little bit, just wakening it up, clearing it out. And I can see it's actually that we've shut down in other lifetimes that's causing this, a little bit of an inability to see spiritual things as easily as we maybe usually would. So just clearing some of that out so that we're able to connect more deeply. And the message that they are really putting forward is know us. Just know us. And what they're really urging, this is interesting, is they've worked with you before. This isn't the first time that they've worked with you, and I'm being shown that these guides are your guides. They've worked with you over lifetimes to get you to where you are now. And what they're saying now is it's about getting reacquainted. We've always been here, it's just about getting reacquainted. And we're still holding up our end of the bargain, is kind of the energy that's coming through. They're still going to help to get you where you need to go. Just allow that energy to shift. You may notice an awareness of it moving. You may feel nothing at all. That's okay, the energy is still working very deeply. And they're showing me you need to watch out, because there are some signs that are going to show up. The thing that always comes up is billboards. Look out for big billboards, big signs, big posters, big images. There's a way that they're going to show themselves to you, so just be mindful of that. Look out for the images that are around you over the next little while, and you'll get the message that you're meant to get. And of course, you can take a deep breath anytime you feel you want to just help that energy shift out of the body a little bit more. Lovely. So just bringing your focus back into the present moment. Allowing yourself to become aware of the room that you're in, the surroundings around you. Back into the present moment, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Just come back around. And as everyone's just gently taking their time to come back around, you can ask any questions you like about this topic, and I'll save a little moment or two by the end. And of course, let me know anything you experienced as we did the healing there and we did that energy shift. I could feel the guides working a little bit more deeply than usual, just to try and get the message across, to remind you that they're there and they're working with you. So thank you for doing the meditation with us, and I hope that you feel rested and connected. And of course, if you want to continue these, we have plenty of free ones on our Facebook page. You can always take a look, or at spiritualawakeningsigns.com/resources. There are a few there. And if you want to work a bit more deeply, we've got, like I said, pretty much every spiritual topic you could possibly need. We've got things to begin awakening, we've got things to ground your awakening, we've got things to activate psychic senses and clear past lives. Any topic you can think of, I think the guides have probably covered it. So it's at the link below. In the description, you'll see our whole school of energy healing meditations. If that is something that you're interested in, you can work with them a bit more deeply and progress further on your awakening while healing at the same time. I can see, Jackson says, I saw a shooting star kind of vision in front of me and a shiver around my head. Yeah, I think quite often a lot of us tend to get shivers, and we feel it's almost like a shiver down the spine, or kind of tingles sometimes as the energy's moving, but it's great that we're all picking up on it. So whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching it afterwards in the replay, do let us know anything that you picked up, because it's all relevant, and it can be helpful for you to feel that resonance as well, which is lovely. So thank you very much for joining us today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that. Take care, take it easy, and I'll see you again soon.